This is Professor L.B. Gayawad's English Literature Web. I am Professor L.B. Gayakawad is discussing today the topic lecture number 367. The topic is On His Blindness by John Milton. Before going to the topic, I will request you to like and subscribe my YouTube channel. I will request you again to see all the notes which I have put in the description box. Now we will go to the topic. At first we will see the introduction. On His Blindness has been written by John Milton, who faces a problem in 1644 and becomes totally blind in 1652 in middle age. Remember here the main problem with the poet is that he has become blind in his middle age. He thinks that he cannot reach the height of literature due to this problem. He likes to write the masterpiece of an epic. Remember, the poet wants to write the masterpiece like epic, but he cannot go to the epic because he has been blind. His talent now has been disturbed, and if he doesn't use his talent to write the epic, it is God's insult as per him. Remember, his talent now has been disturbed, and if he does not write the masterpiece, it will be the insult according to him of God. Due to his problem, Milton angers with God but is silent, listening to his soul voice. After this experience, he composed Paradise Lost and Paradise Regained, the world famous masterpieces. Now we will see the body of the poem. John Milton is surprised of his being blind in his half age, and now the world is dark and wide for him. Remember, the poet is very much surprised, that is, he has been very much disturbed because of the blindness, because he has become blind in his life, and that's why he has become very much unhappy also. Being talented, his talent will disturb him, and he cannot hide his talent, and his eyesight problem will create many problems, and if he hides, that is, if he ignores talent, he will die with many problems. Remember, the main problem with the poet is that he is very much talented, and his talent has become now useless, and if he ignores this talent, then it will be again the problem with him. The talent has given him great literature, and now his talent has been useless. Remember, this gentleman up to his middle age has written the great literature, but now because of this blindness, this literature writing has been a problem before him. The poet's soul has bent before God, and he has to adjust with life only. He has to present his true account of life to God to make him satisfied. Remember, now he has become blind. That's why it becomes his duty to present his all account. It means that all his merits and demerits to God, and that's why he is presenting his total merits and demerits to God. This blindness will make difficult to write the masterpiece. He knows that God expects the special work from the blind man. Here, remember, this poet has known that it is the wish of God to make him blind, and that's why the blind man like him is very much important in the eyes of God, and that's why the God has expected some special work from this blind man. Everyone has to complete the work which God has given, and in this way, if the poet has become blind, he has to complete the remaining work like the persons who have been given the work by God, and they have also to complete that work. In his blindness, he cannot commit suicide, as he shall be treated as purposeless coward man, so he decides writing a masterpiece accepting his blindness. Remember, finally, This poet has accepted his blindness and he has also decided to write the masterpiece in his life. He has to be patient and happy in blindness to remain live, but he cannot stop his murmur. But his soul replies that God doesn't need anybody's great works, being immaterial for him, as they have been given to man by God only. Remember, the poet has now the patience, I will say, or the poet should be now very much patient or happy because he has been blind. And but this blind man cannot stop his complaint, he cannot stop his murmur, and but finally, when his soul tells him that God doesn't need of person's great works also, and this God needs only man's duty or man's great works, then this poet has accepted the blindness and he has become ready to write the masterpiece. Man should accept God's decision as the poet has accepted his blindness. It means man should be happy in happiness and unhappiness understanding God's wish. Remember, man should accept everything which the God has given to him, because happiness as well as unhappiness are the particular things which have been given to man by God. And so here, like this, the poet has accepted all these things. No one challenges the God being the king and the final authority of working or of the earth and wilderness, because of thousands of people are working at his command without rest. Those only can serve God who can wait and wait. Remember, according to the poet, people should wait for God. People should wait for the fruit of God. And the persons who are waiting and waiting, those persons can understand the purpose of God. And finally, this poet has accepted blindness and he has stood in waiting for the fruit of God, and he has accepted to write the masterpiece in his life. The blindness of the poet is also his planning for creating something new from the poet's hands. It means this is the wish of God, and God has decided that he will do something special from this poet. Being a king of kings, thousands of messengers are working at his order. Means many persons, many messengers are working at the command of this God. They will present themselves within a moment at his call, so he never complains and wait for the next fruit from him. Remember, the poet has accepted finally his luck, his destiny, and his blindness, because there are many persons, there are many messengers who are there working only for one command of the God. Finally, we are discussing now the conclusion. John Milton has told readers the importance of the God Christ and his philosophy being religious. He is lucky that the poet has not killed him. Man is a doll in God's hands as per him. Then he, in blindness, wrote world famous masterpieces called Paradise Lost and Paradise Regained. He has repented for his sins done in life through blindness. He admits that his blindness has given him God's remembrance, or he would have been in his materialistic life only. Remember, this blindness has given the best chance to the poet, because he will write the masterpiece in his life, and actually he has written the masterpieces which we have discussed. He admits himself finally a bull of God who has put a yoke of life cart on his neck. The poem gives references of the two persons in the Bible. One hides talent, means one person hides his talent, and the second person uses his talent for good purpose of life. So finally, the poet uses talent for good purpose of writing a masterpiece, and he has actually written the masterpieces like Paradise Lost and Paradise Regained. Finally, we will say that the poem has first the complaining tone and then the accepting tone of the poet. It means that the poet has not been ready to accept his blindness, but finally he has accepted his blindness. So here we have finished this poem. Again, we will have a new poem. Till then, thank you very much.